Hello, good afternoon. It's Rebecca Happy here from Happy Grounds, and we're here talking today with the founder and owner of Brew Donkey, sorry, Brew Donkey Tours, and you're going to be really glad to hear about what they have going on for all the craft craft beer drinkers in the city, and it's a perfect time to think about signing up. So, welcome to Brad, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Absolutely, Rebecca. Thanks for reaching out to us. We're happy to be here and be able to chat with everybody.
Yeah, I've kind of like sort of watched you on social media over the years, kind of curious about the name and
hmm
what exactly this was. Like, I've never really gone on a route.
The name is rather humorous and funny. At the time when we opened in 2013, we're creeping up on our 10-year next year.
Yeah, congratulations.
We thank you. Uh, at the time when we opened in 2013, having an animal in your business name was all the rage.
Oh,
There was so many different businesses had animals in their names, and we just thought, gotta have an animal in our name for whatever we do. We were a tour company and a home delivery service for craft beer lovers. So we would bring craft beer lovers to breweries, and we bring craft beer to beer lovers. So we couldn't call ourselves Ottawa Craft Beer Tours, or we couldn't call ourselves Ottawa Beer Delivery Service. So we had to find a mutual name. So in that time, while I was dreaming it up, I was thinking back to a time I was like a time I was in Spain, and there was kind of an epic experience I had of driving around Spain. And one guy that I was traveling with, he pretty much he started to refer to me as a donkey because I was carrying him everywhere, and I was carrying his stuff all the time because I had a backpack, and became a kind of a colloquial term for, you know, some guy who helps in and helps you get there. So we thought Brew Donkey made sense, and it's a creature that definitely has ties to beer, and we have been going with it ever since.
are you still the only one in the city that does this kind of like touring around to the local breweries?
Yeah, so we started in 2013, and since then we haven't had any competition. I've almost relished the idea of having some competition, but it hasn't happened yet. We really well service the city for tours to local breweries every weekend, all year round. And I do it as a full time business. So if there's a weekend where we're sold out, I add a new trip. So we
Yeah.
don't really just wait and say, well, I'm sold out. I would prefer to have more buses on a weekend and more people touring.
I remember going to the bus station trying to go to Montreal, and they just kept adding buses. It would be great to see, that for you at the brew table. At the
Yeah, that's what we
sorry,
do.
donkey brew.
So we've been as an example, next weekend on Saturday we have two private tours that are going out. Those are individuals who have decided that they want to have a whole bus to themselves, and there's a minimum requirement of 15 guests. So
Ah,
grab a group of friends and 15 to 25 people, and we go to wherever you want to go. And then we have another two buses running on that same day, all around the same time. And those ones are public trips. So somebody might have bought two tickets, and it's a couple of friends going out, and they're on a bus with everybody else that has bought tickets for that, just like a concert. But instead of listening to Dave Matthews wax poetic about his relationship failures, you're listening to somebody tell you the epic tale of why they quit their government job to open a brewery.
right. So tell us how you sort of became a business builder in this industry.
Well, that's so I started my first business in when I was 26, a bakery, a food truck. I put a bakery inside a truck because I was somewhat scared of the idea of having a lease or rent. So that food truck, we operated at Jazz Fest, Blues Fest, Folk Fest, and farmers markets for 5 years. And
Wow.
in that time, I realized I was young and I didn't know very much about business. So I decided I needed to close the bakery
Okay.
and try something else, and went about giving my partner at the time notice that I would be somewhat not as busy with that business and I would find something new. So I took the time to figure out what I liked and figure out what this community needed. So what I liked at the time, I will truthfully admit at 32, 33 was beer. And local beer was definitely one of those items that I was enjoying. I was seeing it at farmers markets. And so in that process, I decided to kind of explore the local brewers more myself. And in that, I started to incorporate it into everything I did. So every trip I was going on, I was trying to explore local breweries.
Oh, wow.
So while I was in Vancouver and Victoria on a trip in May of that year, I visited 4 or 5 breweries a day, just trying to see what they were all like. And I kind of got this thought in my head, well, I've walked to all of these breweries because they're all very close to each other. Why can't we do this in Ottawa? Because I, at that point, knew where all the breweries were. And the light bulb went off because you can't. Ottawa's massive, and you can't walk between Canada and Orleans where there are breweries in either side of the city. So
Right. Van Cleek Hill.
Bankley Hill's far enough out that you don't want to ever have to walk there. So I had the idea of making a bus tour because it's a safer option than self-touring with a car.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
so that was the kind of impetus of why I wanted to open the service. And then since then, we've, focused entirely on tours, leaving the delivery service behind in 2016. The When we started, though, there was 12 breweries in the city, in the region, and now there's over 40. We're closing in on 50 soon enough, within an hour's drive of Ottawa, as far east as Bose, as far east as Bose and as west to Perth. So lots of breweries.
Do you have people who have been with your company since the beginning, aside yourself?
uh, our tour guides are come and go. There's almost like a kind of like a Pokemon mentality. They come and they work for us, and eventually they like graduate and get bigger and stronger in the craft beer industry, and then they go get full-time jobs at craft breweries.
Okay.
Primarily, our tour guides work 1 to 3 weekends a month, and it's not a full-time income. It's a passionate side income
Yeah.
primarily. And for that reason, we have people who may very well have full-time jobs elsewhere, and then you work with us to supplement sometimes their beer income. So, or they'll do this because they want to get into the craft brewing industry, and then they move on to find full-time jobs in the industry, which we've had quite a few. One of our tour guides, Mark, had decided he wanted to work with us because he was thinking of opening a tour company at the same time we were, and he only wanted to do it so that he could become closer and find out more about the craft brewing industry because he wanted to open his own brewery. Well,
Research.
yes, it worked. So he opened Stray Dog Brewing Company in Orleans. And so he was our tour guide for 2 to 3 years, and now we visit his brewery.
Nice.
He's the epitome of like, he went all the way up like Charizard on Pokemon Go. Yeah.
So what do you have? I saw that you're already doing tours now. Now that everything's open, you must
Mhm.
have like people just flooding your site booking tours, and you have some going on this weekend.
Absolutely. We have them every weekend all year round. We reopened Cole's Notes. We shut down in March, just like everybody did in 2020, almost 2 years to the day. We stayed closed until July of that year, open for 3 months. Lackluster performance on attendance because it was a confusing time. Closed to that October, then stayed closed from October of 2020 till September of last year, 11 months. We are now, though, open since then, minus an Omicron shutdown, and have been open since the beginning of February. So since then, it's been a slow build. We're still sending out the buses, but this weekend we have our first sold out tour.
Yay.
And that's exciting for us. It feels good to sell out a bus. And we have a second bus out at the same time. And yeah, we have our schedule put up on the website in full until the end of June, and July is filling. And we're really excited about the idea that people can get on a bus with us again. We're seeing a lot more flow to the website, but we have lots of spaces, so you can head to you can head to our website and actually see what you want to do this summer or spring.
Do you have like Do you have a lot of private groups wanting to come? Like, I think this would be awesome,
Mhm.
especially since people haven't really been able to visit each other, meet up with their friends. For I was looking for the website here. Just a second, sorry.
We definitely offer private tours.
Yeah,
We've been offering them since the beginning. It was our way of allowing people to kind of just have their group on the bus and not be around other people that they might not know. And it's even
yeah,
more important these days. Some people aren't as comfortable being on a in a public space,
yeah.
so to only have your friends and family around you during the touring that you want to do, it makes sense. So we've had quite a lot of interest. The trips start at 15 guests or more for
Hmm.
a private bus tour. We can do private walking tours, but we're limited in the regions that we can go. But we also and in that you get to help design the trip. So first of all, the pickup is wherever you want it, wherever
Right.
you want in the city, and then go to the breweries that you want to visit, and then drop off wherever you want. And it's your trip, just your friends and family. It's the same price as our normal tours, or
Hmm.
our publicly offered tours. You
Wow.
just get all of the customization that you want.
Do you have a like people sort of, people that are getting married or like they want to
Mhm.
bring out their like bride
Yeah,
the
just a
the
couple of weeks
assistants group.
ago, just a couple of weeks ago, we were at the Capitol Wedding Show
Uh-huh.
because, in our mind, we want to let people know who are getting married that they can use our services for
Oh, you
bachelor
bet.
party, bachelorette, a wedding party prior to the event, stag and doe style. But also, everybody who's getting married is perfectly situated in our target market. They're
Hmm.
right at that time when they're having fun in life, and they've got a lot of people around them that care about them. And they are obviously able to spend money on a wedding, so they can hopefully take a fun experience like ours.
What is your target market?
We thought in the beginning it would be younger,
Mhm.
obviously, because it was a social beer event, but we found that it's a late 20s to kind of like 30 to 40 years of age. And then
Mm.
oftentimes we'll have over 40 often on the bus. It is very sparsely populated by under 25, uh, probably due to the fact that people are still getting to the point in their life where they're trying to find their full-time permanent income. And
Hmm.
they are $80 tours. That's the price that they start at. And as a day out, it's not cheap. It's not like a $30 ticket. It's an $80 to $100 ticket. That being said, we're very generous on the tours. You get lots of behind the scenes content, lots of laughs, and lots of beverages. Yeah,
Sorry.
so that's fine.
I just had a question there that I just forgot already.
Did we have a question from some of the viewers?
Yeah, that somebody was asking, is it hard for you to find help?
Um,
Like a lot of restaurants are having a hard time.
last September when we reopened, we definitely we only got a limited amount of applications, but we didn't have trouble finding good people. We really sent it out to our user base, the people that were interested in our product already,
Hmm.
and people weren't looking for a full-time income, they were looking for a supplementary income. So because of that reason, we found three really good candidates, and we used those three candidates to augment our existing tour guides that we rehired from prior to the pandemic. All of our staff, since they did use this as a supplementary income, weren't put out by as much by the pandemic. They still obviously had all the opportunities that the government afforded them, but we only had to lay off one full time employee. But we've helped him land somewhere good, and we miss him dearly.
Mm. Nice. So tell us about your new partnership, and then we'll just wrap up here. And
Oh, great!
uh,
Thank you for asking. So we've got a big new partnership that is every single Red Blacks game. We're going to a brewery and then a Red Blacks game in an amazing section of the stadium. It's section G, row 4 to 10 in that range. You're really just at level with the whole game. You can see it, and you're high enough up that you can see everything. The games have east or west pickups depending on the games. They all live on our website, and there's a top bar there that just says looking for tours with sports, and you just click that and the whole collection is there. But it's $95 for that combined ticket of transportation to the game, a light snack, a tour of a brewery, beer at the brewery, as well as your ticket to the game. And that means you don't have to pay for parking at the game. It
Awesome
means
deal.
very, very important. You get a tour, tasting, and
No
if
drinking and
you're
driving.
no, and we're picking up in different breweries across the city. So the brewery that we're picking up at is the one that we will be touring at. So you can show up there before the game, get a tour, head to the game, and then head back to that brewery afterwards. As well, we have our downtown pickup as well, which is on Elgin.
Well, I hope you sell out all of those.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
We're excited about it. It's got a there's a lot happening in the city, so we really hope that we get a lot of people to come watch, and we appreciate you spreading the word about it, Rebecca.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
It's
Thank
been
you.
interesting meeting you, and it sounds like a really great thing to do with friends to hop on
Absolutely.
a tour,
Thank you.
check out the beer in the city.
Okay. Thanks very much, Rebecca. Have a great day.